So just a quick video tonight, as I have some additional information from the manufacturer of the solar telescope. This is in relation to the claim made by flat earthers that they found a second sun when viewed through their solar telescope. I have made several responses already, clearly demonstrating that it is not a second sun, it is just an internal reflection inside the telescope. Now, the manufacturer of the solar telescopes is Meade Instruments. They're a well-known telescope manufacturer. One of my viewers was kind enough to contact this company, and he sent them a link to the Flat Earthers video asking for them to comment. And this is what they had to say. This is the email, and I have redacted the email address of Jerome. Hey Wolfie, this is the communication I received from Meade customer support. I've posted this on Cammy's video, wondering if it will pass censorship. Greetings, Jerome. This is from the manufacturer of the telescope. Thank you for the inquiry. Per the instructions with the telescopes, one of the first steps when viewing with a Coronado telescope is to remove the solar disk reflection by means of the tuning wheel on the telescope. This secondary image is an artifact of the optical design. Best regards, Meade customer support. So I think we can all agree that is the final nail in the coffin for this claim of a second sun by flat earthers. Sorry, Chris, nothing personal. I just want people to know the truth. So shortly after posting my first video, there was a response made by a flat earther, and he claims that my solar telescope is brand new out of the box. Let's hear what he had to say about it.
Tried that. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think what happened is whoever holds his leash basically sent him a solar telescope like yours, brand spanking new one, right in the box, so it just happens to have one right there he can do all these demonstrations on, along with the script. And then
So the claim was that my telescope was brand new out of the box. Now this flat earther knows that is not true, because he was talking about my solar telescope back in 2018, shortly after I first bought it. And here is the video on my channel proving that this telescope is not brand new. I bought it in March 2018, and here is the video dated March 11. You see the telescope, you see it in the box, and I basically do an unboxing video with a brief description of the telescope. So once again, we have verifiably false information coming from a flat earther. This is not a brand new telescope, and a search on my channel using the word solar will show you numerous videos taken over the years with this solar telescope. So another point this flat earther was complaining about is that I did not address their ability to remove this second sun with a polarizing filter. But I'm not sure what they're getting excited about, because the whole point of using a polarizing filter is to reduce reflections.
You can see in this example here, this is looking at a swimming pool, you can see that as I've turned the filter, you can see it's cut the reflection to the swimming pool. So you can see into the water rather than seeing the reflection of the water.
So the ability to make this second sun disappear with a polarizing filter is really just more evidence that it is only a reflection. So just to finish off this part of the video, I'll show you some footage of a sunset taken the other day with my solar telescope, where I deliberately did not remove the internal reflections. The lower one is the actual sun, and the other two are just the internal reflections. During the first part of the time lapse, I moved the tilt tuner so that you can see those reflections moving away from the main frame. You can also see additional reflections on the side here. And not much happens for a while, but as the sun is setting, it passes through several layers of clouds. And the clouds are like fingerprints. They are clearly the same on each of the reflections. So I'll play that footage now, and then I have some footage for the aviation enthusiasts. So before showing the aviation content, I just want to highlight the fact that not all flat earthers are in agreement with this two-sun claim. In fact, some of them are opposing it quite strongly. I had a great comment by a flat earther agreeing that I have fully debunked Chris Van Matry. Thanks, Frank. I really appreciate that comment. Wolfie, you have debunked Chris Van Matry. There is no second sun. I was wrong. Thank you for taking the time to do this. My hope is the rest of the Flat Earth community will accept this. And another comment by Wide Awake. I've had some reasonable discussions with him, and he came to my channel very politely and very respectfully, thanking me for doing this also. And he states here, I'm in a war with Globebusters, Wolfie. He hates when someone disagrees with him and then tries to bully them. He trolled me with a lot of contradicting comments, and when I told him that he deleted all of his comments, then accused me of deleting them. He is a blatant, flat-out liar. So that's important, and please, if you see Wide Awake on my channel, at least acknowledge the fact that he came to my channel politely and respectfully, because I certainly appreciate that, and if somebody is polite to me, I will do my best to be polite to them. So I'm currently in the cockpit of my new aircraft, a Global 7500, and as you can see, the avionics are far more advanced than the previous aircraft. This one has two head-up displays, so you can see the horizon drop below eye level from either seat. This aircraft has a side stick controller, which is really nice and comfortable to fly with. There you can see the transponder code and the aircraft call sign. It has 4 display units, and each of them can be configured in a full or half screen mode. It uses an electronic checklist, so everything is just done like this. And many of the checks are based on sensed switch position. So for example, if you have the windshield heat turned on, the checklist will automatically flag that accordingly. In the event of an emergency or an abnormal situation, it will also present you with the appropriate abnormal or emergency checklist. So I put in a flight plan from Perth, Australia to Ushuaia in Argentina, and that is a distance of 5,589 nautical miles, which is well within the capability of this aircraft. The initial track is 179 degrees. Now the flight management system will choose the most direct route, which is a great circle route across the globe. From Perth, Australia to Argentina, that means we are flying over Antarctica, and as you can see, quite close to the South Pole. The colour shading on the map indicates terrain elevation, and as you can see, there is some very high terrain in Antarctica. Down here we have the flight spoilers, the slat and flap selector, and 2 thrust levers. So if you want to fly this aircraft, you need to have a multi-engine rating. Sorry, Bob. Down here is the cursor control panel, which uses a ball and switches on either side to make your selections. And you just operate it like a mouse on a computer. Using this cursor and the buttons, you make various different selections. We can also take a look at the aircraft systems. There is the electrical system, hydraulics, bleed air, flight controls, fuel, and various other synoptics. And yes, it does have the new car smell. And because the aircraft has a side stick, there is no control yoke taking up valuable space in the cockpit. So they gave us this small table, upon which I can set up my laptop and troll flat earthers in comfort from 47,000 feet. The aircraft has high-speed satellite-based internet. It really is a debunker's dream. So this is the cabin display monitor, and as you can see, we take every opportunity to indoctrinate them into believing they live on a globe. You can see very clearly now that the aircraft is upside down in Australia. And we have a similar monitor in the crew rest area. We don't want any of our pilots becoming flat earthers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have indications that we may encounter some turbulence. Please return to your seat and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened and loose items are secured. When the seatbelt sign is turned off, you may resume your normal activity.
And I made a special request to George, who is my handler at NASA. I said, make sure you include stars, because flat earthers always complain that they can't see the stars. So we have stars.